Imagine you are standing at the very edge of the world, not in a busy city, not in the warmth of your home. You are standing on the deck of an old icebreaker, drifting in the middle of the Southern Ocean. Around you, there is nothing but white, drifting ice, blinding snow, and the eternal darkness of the polar night. The temperature is minus 40 degrees. The wind screams through your heavy coat, piercing your bones. But the cold isn't the scariest thing here. The scariest thing is the silence. A heavy silence that crushes your chest. You look down at the black, deep water beneath the thin ice. You ask yourself, what is down there? Whales, seals, or just an endless abyss? And then you see it. A massive white mass rising to the surface. At first you think it's just another iceberg, but this iceberg is moving against the wind. It's not drifting, it is swimming. You squint, trying to see through the snow, and as it gets closer, your heart stops. It has two arms, it has broad shoulders, and worst of all, it has a face that looks exactly like a human's, but it is the size of a building, staring right at you with black, soulless eyes. Welcome back. Today we aren't talking about movie monsters. We aren't talking about fairy tales. Today we are talking about a modern legend, a secret that the Japanese government has allegedly spent billions of yen to hide, an entity known by a name that is simple yet terrifying, the Ningen. It violates every rule of marine biology. Reports from secret Japanese whale research ships describe it as a creature that is stark white, 20 to 30 meters long. But what makes even the most veteran sailors vomit in fear isn't the size. It is the shape. It looks too much like us. Imagine a giant human stripped naked with pale flesh, bloated like a corpse that has been in the river for too long. It has a complete upper body, a head, a neck, and two long, slender arms. Its hands, yes, it has hands. 5 distinct fingers, as thick as ancient trees, flexible and terrifying. Its lower body is often described vaguely. Some reports say it ends in a mermaid-like tail, but rough and ugly. Others swear they have seen it with 2 legs, 2 long, twisted legs that allow it to walk on the ocean floor. Imagine that scene. A white giant walking slowly across the black abyss, stepping over the wreckage of sunken ships. And the face? That is the peak of the horror. It has no nose, no ears, just 2 deep black eye sockets and a slit for a mouth. Some witnesses say the mouth is always smiling, a permanent, frozen, emotionless smile. It doesn't roar like a monster, it just watches, the cold observation of an apex predator. So where did this monster come from? Unlike the Kraken or the Leviathan, which come from ancient mythology, the Ningen is a monster of the internet age. It was born from the isolation of the digital era. The story begins in the early 2000s on the famous Japanese forum, 2chan. An anonymous user posted a story that sent shockwaves through the community. This person claimed to be a crew member on a Japanese government whale research ship. He said that during a trip to Antarctica, the crew detected a foreign object on the radar. At first, they thought it was a foreign submarine, maybe Russian or American, spying on them. The captain ordered them to approach and verify. When the ship got close to the object, they realized their mistake. That white metal hull was actually skin. It was breathing. Mist was spraying from vents on its back. And when the ship was just a few hundred meters away, the creature turned its head. The entire crew froze. No one dared to take a photo. No one dared to breathe. They faced it for minutes, but it felt like centuries. Then the creature slowly submerged. No sound, no big waves. It dissolved into the ocean like a ghost. Shortly after that post appeared, it was mysteriously deleted, but the internet never forgets. Others started to speak up. Former sailors, ocean researchers. They connected the dots. They spoke of files stamped top secret. They spoke of confiscated videos. They claim the Japanese government is running a program called JARPA, but the whales are just a cover. Their real target is to find and communicate with the Ningen. Let's go deeper into a real experience. This isn't a campfire story. This is the confession of someone who stared into the abyss. Consider the case of a sailor we will call Tanaka. Tanaka was on night watch on the deck. His job was simple: watch for icebergs. That night the sky was clear. The moonlight reflected off the ice, creating a surreal scene. Tanaka was smoking, trying to fight the cold. Suddenly he heard the sound of water breaking, not waves hitting the ship, but the sound of something rising. He looked over the port side. Under the terrifyingly clear water of the Antarctic, he saw a hand, a pale white hand the size of a car gripping a nearby iceberg. Long fingers dug deep into the ice like steel. Tanaka rubbed his eyes. He thought he was hallucinating from lack of sleep. But then the head rose up, round, smooth. Two black eye sockets were level with Tanaka's eyes. Even though he was standing on a deck 10 meters above the water, it didn't attack, it didn't scream, it just looked at Tanaka. And in that moment, Tanaka felt a stream of information shoot straight into his brain. Not words, but emotion. He felt pity. The creature was pitying him, the same way we pity an ant trying to carry a crumb of bread. Tanaka collapsed on the deck. His cigarette fell from his hand. When his crewmates arrived, the creature was gone. Only 2 massive claw marks remained on the iceberg, proving it wasn't a dream. After that trip, Tanaka quit. He moved to the mountains, as far away from the sea as possible. He said he wasn't afraid of dying. He was afraid of being seen by those eyes again. So what exactly is the Ningen? Why does it look so human? Mainstream science will laugh and say, it's just pareidolia, the phenomenon of seeing faces in random objects. Or they say it's a giant ray with a deformity. But in the shadows of closed rooms, theorists propose much scarier ideas. Theory 1, the extreme aquatic ape. We know humans evolved from apes, but there is a theory that a branch of human ancestors did not choose the land. They chose to return to the sea. Over millions of years, they evolved to survive extreme pressure and polar cold. They kept their intelligence, they kept their hands, but their bodies became massive to retain heat. If this is true, the Ningen aren't monsters. They are our cousins, and they rule 70% of this planet, while we hide on the 30% of dry land. Theory 2, biological weapon. Some believe the Ningen is man-made, a failed experiment from the Cold War. Did scientists try to create a super frogman weapon by splicing human genes into whale embryos? And like every horror story, the experiment got out of control. These creatures escaped, fleeing to the coldest, most remote waters to breed, far away from their creators. Theory 3, extraterrestrial entities. Antarctica is a hotspot for UFOs. Why would aliens come to Earth and expose themselves in the sky? If they were smart, they would hide where we can never look. The deep ocean. The Ningen could be their biological suits, or their true form. They aren't invading, they are just mining resources beneath the ice. But whatever the Ningen is, its existence, or even the idea of it, teaches us a bitter lesson about arrogance. The Ningen represents the dark zone of human awareness. It is the embodiment of what we do not understand and what we dare not understand. Its human-like shape is a mockery. It is a twisted mirror reflecting our own image back at us. Think about it. Why are we so afraid of it? Is it because it's big, or is it because it looks like us, but it is not us? That is the uncanny valley effect at its peak. When something looks human but has deadly flaws, our brain screams, danger. It is a primal survival instinct, warning us to stay away from corpses or disease. The Ningen stands there on the border between man and monster, between science and fiction. It reminds us we are not alone on this planet, but our neighbors are not friendly, and they are definitely not weak. So next time, when you open Google Earth and scroll across the white expanse of Antarctica, or when you dream of taking a cruise on an icebreaker to see the penguins, remember this: when you look down into that black water, don't look for too long. Because legends say if you see the Ningen, it has already seen you, and unlike humans who forget, the Ningen has a perfect memory. It will remember your face, and maybe, just maybe, one night when you are sleeping in your warm room, you will hear the sound of water breaking and see a pale white hand pressed against your window. Do you believe in the Ningen, or do you think it's just a funny-shaped iceberg? Leave a comment below. I will read them all, unless I am busy running away from something. If you want me to dive deeper into the classified files of other sea monsters, hit like and subscribe. But for now, turn off the lights, and good night.